Hey runners, happy Saturday. It is March 25th on a beautiful boy. This well, it's spring now, but winter and start of spring has just been fantastic here in Phoenix, Arizona. Typically, we are much warmer, but I'm just loving this extended cooler season. So, happy Saturday again. Um, Hope you guys are having a great start to your weekend, wherever you're watching. And if you're new to the channel and like what you see, please feel free to subscribe. And yeah, so wanted to let you know how the week has been as far as the running is going, and kind of like I think I mentioned in the past video, some of the upcoming races that I'm looking to do here for the spring and heading a little bit into the summer. Not a ton, but a little bit here and there. So, first of all, um, yeah, I just got done a little bit ago. It's about a little after 9 o'clock here, but I got done with my run not long ago. I did an 8 miler, and I'll kind of take you through that here in a little bit. Just kind of adjust this. Sorry, guys. Um, so this week I didn't really log a ton of miles. I'm just looking up here to see kind of what I've done. Not that I was logging a ton of miles. I was doing 20 to 25 maybe. I'm training for a 7 mile race, which, um, you know, it's not a long distance, but I consider like a 10K, and I've been running fairly consistent for a while. This week I had a little bit of let's say niggles, but um, let me take you back a little bit. Uh, not this past Friday, but the Friday before, was at actually St. Patrick's Day of all days. The luck of the Irish was not with me. Um, I was out biking, and I hit, kind of had a minor crash. I was only going 5 miles an hour down a path that was wet from the landscapers watering the grass. Anyways, that crash, I hit my head a little bit on the ground. I had a helmet, fortunately, but I did land on my right shoulder and the right lateral portion, outside portion of my right leg. That got bruised pretty bad, but it's been going away fairly quickly. So maybe in the next week or so it'll be gone. But I had some. I think I was lightly concussion, a light concussion, if you will. It wasn't terrible. I didn't see a doctor. It didn't get to the point where my speech was blurring or anything like that. But I felt a little bit in my head. Um, Tuesday and Wednesdays when I kind of felt it. I felt, especially on Wednesday, my head. I just felt like I had a little bit of pressure there on the right side. So I work from home, so I was working and I was kind of laying down a little bit. I just felt a little bit out of it. So, I thought, well, I took a day off of running. So, like this last week, I ran Monday afternoon. I did a 10 by 200, which went pretty well. The weather was nice, so I thought I'd take advantage of that. And then, I ran on Tuesday just a couple miles, 4 miles. And then I ran on Thursday because I wasn't feeling that great on Wednesday. And I only did like a mile and a half in the morning with my wife and a friend of ours. And then, Fridays I usually don't run. And then today I ran 8 miles. So I wasn't quite sure how today would go, but I had planned on the calendar to do 8 miles with hills. Now, where we live, it's hard to find a flat stretch of road for very long. When we moved here, um, almost 7 years, um, we notice there's a lot of hills, which is not a bad thing. In fact, it really does help with our training, um, to have hills really close by. We have the mountains literally about a mile, a mile and a half from us. There's some great trails there. I don't really run a lot of trails. I'll walk some, but my wife does. There's mountain bikers, there's runners, walkers that take advantage of it. It's great to have nearby. But then we have a lot of hills. Um, so I haven't run hills in a while, and I plan to do it. And this weekend, I said I'm going to do it and see how I'm feeling. I had a little bit of pressure in the head still. My blood pressure was a little bit higher, but nothing crazy. I just thought I'd go out there and you know see how the legs feel. So my route, I drove about 15 minutes west of here. There's a trailhead. I parked on the side of the road, and basically I start heading east, and then I go up Desert Foothills Parkway, I believe is the name of the road, and it's about almost 1.5 miles up the road, um, and it's steep, but it's not like it's straight up. And the nice thing about it is it's not completely straight up where you can see, in front of you, which is nice. You go up a little bit, and then you wind a little bit to the right, and then you wind a little bit to the left, and then you can see the top with less than a half a mile to go. To me, that's, I guess, more encouraging than to see about almost a mile and a half straight up, because that just seems like forever. This way, it breaks it up into phases. And I told myself when I go up the hill, don't run it hard. Never should you run it hard in the first place, but just go at a moderate pace. You're always going to be slower going uphill than downhill. At least you should. If not, then you're doing something wrong. So I was going uphill, and I was looking at my pace and just curious to see how my effort translated to the pace. I was running for a good portion of it just under 10 miles an hour. I'm sorry, 10 minutes per mile. So when I started going up the hill, I was probably around like 10:05 pace, but I was feeling pretty good. And when I got to the top, where the trailhead is, there's a nice like bathroom and water fountain, so I got something to drink, and that was at like 2.5 almost, yeah, 2.5 miles. So I just got a quick breather, got something to drink, because I don't really carry anything on a short run like this, and it's not that hot at all. So I went down the hill after that, and my plan is when I go up the hill, run it moderately. I shouldn't feel like I'm just so out of breath. I mean, it should feel like work, but it shouldn't feel like I'm being chased by a lion going up a hill. So I went down the hill, and let's see if I can see what my pace was. Going down the hill, I felt pretty good. I think it was clocking like around 8:30 pace for a lot of that run down the hill, which is good. I've run it faster, but I felt like let's just go at a nice little clip, and I did. And so when I got to the bottom, I felt pretty good. Stopped at a traffic light, and then was heading west on this road, and then it went uphill, but not that hard. It was a little steep for maybe 4/10 of a mile, and felt pretty good. I was running that at like 9. I mean, it wasn't really, 9:30s maybe. Got to the top. As you're heading west on this road, it's very steep. I want to say the incline. I've biked it years ago. I'd say it's like between 10 and 12%. So when I was running downhill, I just said, hey, let yourself go. You don't want to brake hard going downhill because your quads are really going to take a pounding. They're going to take a pounding regardless. But if you try to slow yourself down too much, you're just going to tighten up those quads, and you know it's going to do a lot more work than you need it to. So I let myself go. I was having fun. At one point, I think it said 5:38 per mile. I was like, oh, this is nice. But of course, I'm really going down. Then after that, I made a left turn and was going down the street, and it's still a little bit downhill, and then it flattens out and it goes downhill a little bit again. And then the final part of the run was maybe a little bit more than half a mile going uphill again. So, I finished where I started, and really a good run. I can't be any more excited than I didn't really know what to expect, so I was just really kind of over the moon on it. Seeing how I ran. I ran a 9:13, 9:14 pace for 8 miles. Not really sure like how my body was going to react. Wasn't feeling entirely great this week, but it's one of those things where you just never know how you're going to do until you actually do it. We've all been there as runners where we may be feeling a little bit under the weather or having some niggles or something like that. As long as we're not putting ourselves in, harm's way. If it's something that's really serious, obviously we don't run. But this wasn't the case. And if I wasn't feeling that great, I told myself, you know what, I'll turn around and head back, or alter the course a bit so it's not so hard. But gosh, I couldn't be more excited. My pace, like I said, 9:13, 9:14. That second mile was 10:05. And that's a tough one. That's going up, a fairly big hill. So altogether, I had 3 uphills and 2 downhills, but really close to 3 because one of them was an extended off of the downhill. It was down and then it was flat a little bit, and then I ended up with an uphill. But gosh, I don't know where you guys are watching this from, but the weather here in Phoenix, Arizona has just been fantastic. I mean, we never get, freezing temperatures. I mean, we get close to freezing. Sometimes we get down to 32 or even maybe just under that, once or twice in the winter season. But I'm telling you, we've had some rain, we've had some cool temperatures. Typically, our highs are 80 or even 85 at this time. And we've only, I think, broke 80 once, and that was in the low 80s. And the rest of the weekend, we're going to be sitting at like 70 or even upper 60s. And I think next week, Wednesday, we might be at 80, and then it tails down a little bit with a little bit of a cold front coming. Well, cold front, we'll get down into like maybe upper 60s and 70s. So, just love it. It's great for running. The temperature this morning was 48 degrees, a little chilly. I didn't wear gloves. If it was like low 40s, then I probably would have worn them for the run. But yeah, I'm excited. So what we have going on here with our runs, as you guys may have heard from last video, is we've got a mile time trial on the 4th of April. It's going to be a Tuesday evening put on by one of the local running groups. And it's a free event for us to just basically go out there. And we did it last year. And it's just, you go out there. They've got some, I think 4 groups between, certain paces. And you just run the mile as quick as you can or as you want, and then they do a predict the mile after that, where you can run at any pace. You can run it fast, you can run it slow, but you can't use your watch. You have to predict how close you are, and then I don't know what the winner gets. But after that, then they have free pizza, which I'm looking forward to. I love to eat. So it's a nice little event to hang out with your friends for a little bit on a Tuesday night. So and then we'll have a 5K, or I'll have a 5K at the end of the month. I believe it's the 22nd of April. That'll be another 5K. So, yeah, nothing crazy. Just continuing to get some runs in. Um, Let me know how you guys are doing. Are you racing this weekend, or perhaps you've already had a race, depending on where you're watching this from? Let me know in the comments down below. And again, thanks for watching, guys, and hope you're safe and happy running to you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care. Bye.